Blessed to be a part of your day. Kevin Miller in the morning here at KIDO Talk Radio. Thank you all for joining us. Our top story, the controversy continues out of Preston, Idaho. We'll get to that in a minute. Also, the student protest. We have some great commentary, some great punditry, attempted, alleged punditry in about 200 words or less at KIDOTalkRadio.com, urging kids to just stay in school. We've got some good kids doing some good things that we're not hearing a lot about, but you'll hear it exclusively here, home of the real talk and the real news, like the real world champion. I'm sitting here looking at a couple things, and whether it's our great friends, our news partners at Channel 7. So when you hear Channel 7 on the radio, you're listening to KIDO Talk Radio. And The Statesman. And The Statesman isn't our news partner. I don't know who they partner with, but a good story by Katie Mueller, who does a great job here. Franklin County prosecutor Vic Pearson said Tuesday that his office won't be reviewing a case of alleged animal cruelty by a junior high teacher in Preston due to a conflict of interest. Pearson said in a news release that he's turned over Preston Police and Franklin County Sheriff's Office reports on the incident to another prosecutor in the 6th Judicial District. He didn't specify why, nor did he return a call from a reporter seeking the information. Many people have inundated the school district and law enforcement after reading about the unconfirmed reports on the internet. I love how the press continues to circulate this. Now, this is what happens when we assume, but legally we have to cover ourselves, and we do. And again, innocent till proven guilty. But can you tell me, I don't know what's going on in Preston, Idaho. I'm sure it's a lovely community. When allegedly a snapping turtle's not feeding on a live puppy. Yeah, wouldn't you like your community known for that? So if I am from the Preston Middle School, the Preston School District, and we don't even have to say Preston, if this was your school, if this was your community, and this is going on, and it's a lie, wouldn't you come out and denounce it? Why are the authorities saying they have to investigate? Look, it either happened or it didn't. The puppy was either alive and fed to the snapping turtle, or it wasn't. Either this teacher did this, or he has been maligned beyond repair. And I would say, I would hope, as my daddy, Larry Miller, would say, Kevin, if you had a brain, you'd be dangerous. I know what you're saying there, Daddy. But I would think that if I were accused of something falsely, I would get on every microphone. I'd be calling Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio, and I would be saying, Kevin, these charges are false. If I were the prosecutor in Franklin County, we've investigated. We're not talking about, something that, takes a long time. We have great police here in the Treasure Valley. I don't know about law enforcement in eastern Idaho. I assume they're up to snuff. But you've got, in my opinion, what they're doing is trying to weather the storm and hope that you forget about it. So I'm looking at this piece by The Statesman, and it says 2,600 students want the teacher to stay. Do you know how many people want this? And they have a link to it. Actually, it's not 2,600, it's 2,200. By the way, I'm looking at this other petition from Care2, and we'll put this up on the website probably by 11 at the latest today, so look out for that on Facebook and Twitter. But these folks from the Care2 folks that want this guy fired have almost 12,000 people signing their petition. So you have maybe 2,200 on one end. And by the way, there's no link to the Care2 petition from The Statesman. And the press isn't taking sides. Now you have somebody here who's a teacher, actually a person here, Parrish, said the accused biology teacher, whom The Statesman is not identifying without confirmation from police or the school district, was her teacher when she was a child growing up in Preston. She said the teacher's beloved in the community. Local officials don't want to ruin his career. Okay. Are local officials ruining his career if he didn't do it? No. Are local officials ruining his career if he did it? Then they must agree with the alleged acts of feeding a live puppy in front of children in a school to a snapping turtle, although it didn't happen during school grounds, according to published reports. Everybody is so scared of the repercussions. Parrish said, anybody who thinks I'm having fun doing this, I'm not. It's the right thing to do. Okay, then let's have a debate. Did he do it? No. Okay, we move on. We apologize. Did he do it? Yes. Then the community needs to hold him accountable. And with this one, we're talking about the community not only of Idaho, but the entire country, possibly the entire world. Again, look out for that story at KIDOTalkRadio.com. But it's amazing how people pick sides on this issue where the Statesman will have a link to one petition site but not to another. Right. Dr. Jeff Rosenthal, Executive Director of the Humane Society, said his social media manager was up all night moderating angry comments. People are really upset. We share the concern and outrage, but we have to keep it civil. I'll tell that to the puppy. And by the way, according to Rosenthal in this article, feeding a live puppy to a turtle would be a violation of the state's animal cruelty statutes. There's nothing under state law that would exempt that action from cruelty prosecution. Well, again, we have very, very weak protections when it comes to protecting animals in this state, do we not? 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Again, if he's innocent, people are doing a disservice because he's not coming out and proclaiming it. Like I said, if he's guilty, then the entire town, the entire community that is not saying he has to go agrees with it. That's really what it comes down to. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Kevin Miller in the morning here, welcoming everybody into town to watch a bunch of grown men wearing baggy shorts throw a ball through a hoop, and everybody's getting excited about it. That was an attempt at humor. Bill in Boise, good morning, underlining attempt. You're on KIDO Talk Radio with Kevin Miller. Hello, Bill.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you this morning?
It's amazing how these people how they're reacting in Preston, Idaho. But and you, sir?
Yeah, I'm just really upset about the thing, thinking more and more. And his logic is, well, the puppy was sick; it was going to die anyway. So that's what that was his logic behind it. Well, if that kind of logic is, then I guess you should go to the hospitals and pick anybody that's sick and dying in the hospitals, take them to the zoos and feed them to the wild animals and the sharks and stuff at the zoo, because, they're going to die anyway. It's just ludicrous that anybody can even defend this piece of garbage. I don't care what he's done over the years and stuff. This is just absolutely inexcusable. I'm so upset that the guy is still even in the school. It's ridiculous.
Well, and here's the deal. He either did it or he didn't. And our friend Jim says, Kevin, investigation is the cover-up word for we're trying to get all our ducks in a row so there's no escape from prosecution of this guy. He did it in front of witnesses. Right. I understand Jim's point, Bill, but look, he did it in front of witnesses. He did it in front of kids. Apparently, he's done it before. He's been under investigation. It sounds like he runs the town because the prosecutor doesn't want to do anything with it either.
Yeah, they're scared of him for some reason. And like you said, investigation, you've got witnesses there. You've got people in the school that heard the puppy screaming as it was being ripped apart. How long does this investigation need to be?
Right. And if he didn't do it, exonerate the guy.
Exactly. Have witnesses say that and you walk away. But otherwise, yeah, I agree. Anyway, Kevin, thank you for everything you do. Keep it real, and thank you. Have a good day.
All right, Bill. Take care. I appreciate Bill. Keep your powder dry, brother, especially on this wet day. All right, March Madness is here in the Treasure Valley. Are you excited? Of course, the downtown merchants are, and it's funny looking at the local press. Hey, everybody, if you're new to town, this is what you can do. I don't think people are here. I hope they get a look at the town, but we have enough people moving in. Don't move here, okay? Number one. We have enough traffic. We have enough folks in from California. Some nice, some not so nice, like anywhere. So we urge people not to move here. I think we should be charging like double the taxes personally, although that wouldn't really go anywhere because we charge a lot of taxes in the city of Boise and nothing really happens when it comes to improving the roads or whatever. We have a lot of bicycles here, and I'm trying to think of anything else. It's just amazing to me at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, that, and maybe we're just partial to college football, or at least I am, that everybody's excited. Hey, it's almost like the circus comes to town. Well, I don't like the circus. Well, everybody likes the circus. So there you go. So we've got the men's basketball tournament coming down. Hey, I've got tickets. Really? Are you a fan of Kentucky? No, but I'm going to go. Well, you're going to see some of the best basketball in town. You know, people paying like $300, $400, $500 for tickets. Is that really fiscally responsible? Are our lives that dim that, again, watching boys ages 18 to 22 or young men with baggy shorts throwing a ball through a hoop is entertainment? Corey in Emmett, one of the fastest growing areas of the Treasure Valley and one of the best kept secrets around, probably not for long, joins us at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Corey.
Good morning, Kevin. Yes, you're right. Emmett's the best community to live in. It's a blessing to be there. I'm calling in this morning because I'm listening to your points about the animal cruelty, but as a mom, I don't know what the statutes are as far as doing these heinous acts in front of children, but what about the effect on the kids watching this? So, yes, there's cruelty to the animal, but there's really cruelty to children here, and he has no business being in a school at this point. So that's my comment, is really what are the effects on the kids watching this in light of this school shooting, just these acts of cruelty, whether to animals or to kids? What does this do for their future and how they look at violence? And it's just another act that we can't tolerate. So that's my 2 cents.
I would agree with you in front of children. And here's the sick thing about it. You have people going, well, he's a good teacher. So you want your kids being exposed to that.
Right. He has a moral obligation to not do that. I don't know what they find, but this is an immoral act. I don't want this done in front of my kids. And I just feel like there's long-term effects when you can't see what you've just seen. You can't undo those pictures in your mind. We need to protect our kids. It's bad enough out there for what we can't control, but we should be able to control what the teachers are showing or saying to our kids. So, yeah, this is a really bad call. He needs to get out of there.
Corey, good luck on that, that dangerous road to Star there. I don't know how y'all do it in Emmett, but good luck driving that thing.
Well, all right. Well, thanks, Kevin. I appreciate it, the time.
Thank you.
All righty. Bye-bye. Have a great day.
You too, ma'am. Bye-bye. I'll tell you what a great young lady there, but that road from Emmett to Star, scaredy, Kevin Miller. All right, coming up, Brian in Meridian, Ronnie in Caldwell. The return of Ronnie from Caldwell. Wow. We'll talk a little bit about that, plus the students are walking out. Are you supporting them? Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio.
If you look at the map of the United States, there's all that red in the middle where Trump won. Now, I win the coasts, I win, Illinois and Minnesota, places like that. But what the map doesn't show you is that I won the places that represent 2/3 of America's gross domestic product.
Wow, there we have it. Hillary Clinton trashing America in India. Let's go to Brian in Meridian, Idaho, with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Brian.
Hey, good morning, Kevin. How are you?
I am living the dream. Blessed to be with you, sir. And you?
Awesome. Same. Hey, so while all this distraction of priests and kids walking out and whatnot, dogs, puppies, is going on, there's something I think that needs to be brought up again that is slipping through the legislature here in Idaho. And that is House Bill 658, the so-called update to the trespass law. Have you heard about this?
I have. My buddy Kent is not in favor of this, but why don't you spell it out for us? Apparently, what is it? The fine was $50. Now it can be $500 or something like that.
Well, it's not just that. It's it does a whole bunch of things. It's a 21-page kind of a mess that Representative Boyle up in Emmett put together at the in conjunction with a lobbying group that is supposedly, and I haven't been able to figure this out, but supposedly attached to the Wilkes brothers. I know there's a lobbying company out of Toronto, Canada, that's doing videos saying that people are going to, cook barbecues in your front yard and go fishing in your pool if this law doesn't pass. But a couple of the provisions of this thing that are really bad are that it criminalizes trivial things such as, and this was used in the hearing in the House, if your kid throws a Frisbee over a fence line, it's now a criminal trespass to retrieve that Frisbee. If the landowners don't have to post as well as they have been in the past, Idaho is one of the best states in the West for posting private property and no trespassing. They're doing away with that so that you may inadvertently and without intention find yourself criminally trespassing. It adds felony levels to the trespass law for these innocuous, inadvertent trespassing. Okay, the Idaho Sheriff's Association has come out and said, you're putting us in a really bad spot. We're not going to be able to enforce this thing. We're going to be arresting a lot of people that are, not doing anything intentionally wrong because of the language of the law. And probably the worst thing of this, and this is probably where the Wilkes brothers have their hands in it, is that there's a civil portion of this as well. So the landowner can sue in civil court for trespass and doesn't have to prove the case at all, really. It removes the frivolousness clause of it. And this is one of the first times this has ever happened in Idaho law, from what I've been told, in that the defendant, say I get sued by you for coming into your front yard, even though I was in, Pocatello at the time. You just say, hey, he was in my yard. It's he said, she said. Well, if I win that and prove that, hey, I was in Pocatello, I cannot come after you for attorney's costs, court fees, any of that sort of thing. So if you win, say you prove that I was in your yard, well, then you, by this provision of this law, you get to come after me for all the attorney's costs and court costs and all that. So what you can get is little guys that get tied up in court and, ultimately potentially could go bankrupt if these, if folks, wealthy landowners or whatnot, push this out. The last thing I'll tell you is that
wait a minute, and this is sponsored by Republican Judy Boyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, Republican Judy Boyle.
I get that, but I don't know what that means anymore these days.
Doesn't sound too Republican to me.
No. Here's the other thing. This applies to anybody. It's not just hunters and fishermen. I happen to be a sportsman, a hunter and fisherman. But say you're rafting down the Payette River and you pull over on the beach because it looks like a nice beach. Boom, trespass. If you're out riding your ATV and you cross some imaginary line that you didn't know where you were accidentally, trespass. That kind of thing. It's mountain bikers. It applies to everybody. But only the costs associated with the provisions of managing this thing come out of the Fish and Wildlife Fund. So they're only attributing these costs to hunters and fishermen, not everybody else that has the potential now to be a felon trespasser. So it goes to, I believe, the House or the Senate Resource Committee this week. They're trying to ramrod it through by the 27th. And anybody who's listening that is an outdoorsman, a sportsman, don't take my word for it. Look at the language of this thing. It's crazy, and it's a mess. I agree that the trespass laws in Idaho probably need to be updated, and I don't condone that at all. But the pendulum swing completely the other way in favor of big landowners from out of state is not in a true Idaho spirit.
All right, Brian, quickly, what's it called again?
It's called House Bill 658, and I don't know what they're going to call it in the Senate. I don't know how that works legislatively, but.
All right, Brian, thank you. Traffic and weather together at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Dave. Plus, to be a part of your day, Kevin Miller in the morning, taking your phone calls, student walkouts, the trespassing bill, and, of course, puppies. Preston, Idaho's pressing puppy death dilemma. Ronnie in Caldwell, good morning. You're on KIDO Talk Radio with Kevin Miller. Hello, Ronnie.
Hey, dude. You said it's a return of Ronnie, but I never left, so I don't know if maybe you forgot about me, but I've always been here.
Well, I admire loyalty, sir, so please go ahead.
I know. Hey, I've got something for you, dude, but first I've got to say, could people stop playing Candy Crush while they're in line at the grocery store and like, put the stuff on the belt and get things moving? Because you know what I almost did, dude? I almost snapped and took this guy's phone and broke it yesterday because he was holding me up at the Fred Meyer.
Really? What Fred Meyer do you go to?
I go to a couple different ones, but usually the one down there, on the boulevard, back in, in my town.
Right.
Yeah, and dude, who's got time for that? I mean, it's just like, dude, put your food on the thing. You know what I think I might do next time? I might just put his food on the belt anyways, and just be like, hey, get things moving, old man. Hey,
well, wait a minute, though. When you're at the checkout thing, what really gets me is when they start talking to the person checking you out. You know what I'm saying? I don't really no, not checking you out, but I mean, going through your items and everything. I'm like, look, I just need to get going because we all have become so insensitive. We've all become so whatever. You know what I mean? Like you need some more patience.
And only for that, because that's slowing things up. But, I like talking to the checkers because sometimes you can find out some really good deals. Like when they've got candy close by to the register.
Okay. Let's keep going here.
What happened? Anyway, this puppy thing's got people in an uproar, but I got to tell you, dude, I had a boa constrictor named Charlie for almost 15 years, and hey, when it comes to feeding certain animals, dude, you just got to feed them whatever they got to eat,
Maybe you should fed yourself to Charlie. Wait a minute, Charlie would have had indigestion.
That's not really that funny, but hey, I'm serious, dude. There were times when times were tough, and I had to grab certain things and feed it to him, and I mean, we're talking bunny rabbits, cute as Easter. They would be, down.
Peyton, thanks for your patience. You're on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning.
Good morning, Kevin. Man, this is why I love your show. That house bill that guy was talking about, that really does apply to everyone. And I wouldn't have even known about that if I wouldn't be listening to your show this morning. So thank you.
Well, thank you, brother. Anyway. We wouldn't have a show without you, so please continue.
Oh, well, thank you. Anyway, I wanted to talk about that teacher in Preston. I just wanted to be really quick on a subject that I haven't heard. I hope someone else hasn't said it and I'm not repeating. But anyway, a snapping turtle or a turtle, it is an omnivore. It'll eat, you can put goldfish in a bowl and it'll eat it, no problem. You can mix up some meat in there maybe, but it's not just adapted to eating live mammals out of nowhere. Like that's not that turtle was either being starved for a few days waiting for a meal, or it's learned that over time, and he's been doing some messed up stuff.
Look, we have the published reports that he's under investigation.
Well, that's good. I think he should be out of there for sure.
Peyton, thank you for the call. Thank you for waiting.
Yep. Bye.
Bye-bye. We go to Doug in Mountain Home with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning. Yeah, just whatever the guy did there was pretty stupid to do it in front of freaking kids in a classroom. I guarantee you that. But I don't know, Kevin. Do we really get this much publicity over abortions? I mean, killing a human life? And then the other thing is on that trespass thing, it is a mess. I've called my senator and a congresswoman on it, and I don't know really the whole true aspect of this one situation, but there is, I think, a whole bunch of this being pushed by out-of-state people buying big chunks of ground here in Idaho. 'Cause I've been told, like I said, I don't know how much truth is in the facts, but I was told some Texas brothers bought, I think, almost all of Potlatch's ground, and some of it's clear down around in Emmett. They're not right out Emmett going towards New Meadows that way. And I've heard some stories of people getting ran into armed guards on private ground. I mean, like I said, I don't know the true facts of it, but I do know I talked to Brett Brackett, senator in my district, and he said it needs to be rewrote too. But I can see where, like he's saying, they're trying to shove it through. You know, and I know the landowners have a lot of trouble with trespassing. Some of it's blatant destruction of property, but there is a lot of stuff going to come around that people are accidentally going to get charged. And from what Brett told me, the senator, Brackett, that it'll be 3, unless they've changed it, it'll be 3, what am I trying to say, Kevin? 3 trespass offenses before it's a felony. But even that, I mean, if it's just something that you've done accidentally, I can't see how you could get charged with a felony when you have people like Clinton and some of our other politicians doing the crap they're doing to our country, and nothing has happened to them. And you're going to get a felony charge for
look what happened.
Involuntary trespass.
Look what happened to the Bundys.
To the what?
To the Bundys.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Kevin. Yeah, and the other thing, this guy with the puppy, I mean, that's, you know how many animals a day the Humane Society kills? And I know they don't feed them to turtles, but they kill hundreds of thousands of animals a day.
Well, and back to your point about abortion, we kill babies a day as well, Doug.
Exactly.
You're right about that, but we don't do it in front of children. But Doug brings up a good point, and we'll take more of your phone calls here at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. And the point being is this. There are some big money people coming into Idaho. And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm Captain Idaho. I'm not. Not a native of this great state, not a native of the West. I've come from east of the Great River, like a lot of people, for the quality of life, the people, great place to live. But Idaho has to decide if we're going to stand up for our traditional way of life, genteel, nice, intelligent, rational people, or you're going to allow the big money people coming in that are buying the farms, that are buying the hunting land, and locking people that have lived here forever out of their own lands. Now, back to Doug's point, the Wilkes brothers are big, rich guys from Texas. Rocky Barker has done a series on them and how much land they've bought in Idaho. Apparently, according to Rocky from the Statesman, they're selling some of their land here. But the Wilkes brothers also own the Daily Signal. And those of you that are young millennials, and those of you who are not, that you've heard of a guy named Ben Shapiro. As you recall, as Ray Amaya reminds me, we had Ben Shapiro on a few times, most notably at the Republican convention in Tampa, where that kid has a Harvard law degree, intelligent, works very hard, a hardworking, intelligent young man that might be maybe 32 at most. He works for the Daily Signal. The Wilkes brothers own that. They're so successful, they're going to buy the Blaze, which has seen better days, according to some published reports. Doesn't mean it's true. So on one hand, I think you have, at least from what I know, which isn't much, these conservative brothers who, look, if the brothers want to come on, great. They're so rich they could buy this company that I work for at the drop of a hat. No big deal. Not even the radio station, not even the 6 stations. They're like Marcus Lemonis. They could write a check and boom, all 400, 500, 600 stations. That's how much money they have. And they come into a small state, and they're buying property. Now, I don't know who's behind this bill, but I don't think it's very Republican. It's very conservative, and Judy Boyle's not a fan of mine, which is fine. She's a very strong lady. We don't have to agree on things. She's welcome to come on, Representative Boyle. But, to have this bill that seems, again, you talk to elected officials. My man Kent from the Highway Commission warned me about this a couple weeks ago. This is not a good deal. Who does it protect? Does it protect people with HOAs? Does it protect people that are living on the bench? Or does it protect people that are out of town that don't want people on their land and want to arrest people that even look at their land? Is that how the West was won? And let's go to Max in Garden City on KIDO Talk Radio. Hello, Max.
Well, good morning, my good friend Kevin Miller.
Howdy-ho.
How are you doing on this drizzly morning?
As I say to everybody that sees me in public, still employed as of right now.
Well, hang on to that and count your blessings, my friend. I'm retired. That's the best kind of unemployed.
Well, you know something? I feel blessed that I am employed because it's my job to keep funding the programs that keep you rolling. When I talk to my parents or people in my neighborhood, they go, "How's it going?" I go, "Well, I'm just working to make sure that you get the benefits that you paid into."
Well, I guarantee it. When I hear the word entitlement attached to Social Security, it just makes my blood boil. Because they took that money at gunpoint under the promise that they'd give it back one day. Now that they're starting to give it back, it's like Scrooge parting with gold coins. But that's not why I called you. You're on KIDO AM and FM. There's a little plug. I called because this whole puppy and turtle thing is a smokescreen. It's silly. It's out there, and it's taking away from a real issue, the number one issue for the people of the Treasure Valley. That is the food tax. The emperor
wait a minute. Governor Otter said, "Hey, I'm going to give everybody a 0.5% tax cut." Yeehaw! Little doggy.
And Governor Otter is a moron. Governor Otter is looking after himself. Governor Otter is rich. Take a look at his personal portfolio. He doesn't care if he drops 6% extra on groceries. In fact, he probably hasn't been in the supermarket in 20 years. His people go shopping for him. He doesn't even see the bill.
No, I've seen Governor Otter at the Albertsons in Eagle.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I've seen him in the parking lot there.
Yeah. I wonder what he's doing out there. Let's not get into that.
He's buying groceries.
Yeah, with our money.
Boy, you're fired up today. Why don't you let me just get out of your way. Go ahead there. Yes.
Think about this. So many people in the Treasure Valley who work hard, earn the money. They work very hard. Maybe they're very poor. Maybe they're middle class. It doesn't seem to matter. Let's just grab 6% of all of their food money. And to me, I can afford it. I don't like it. I can afford it. But there are people out there who have to make tight financial decisions. And some of them are influenced by the fact that when they go out to buy the bare sustenance of life, the emperor slaps a tax on it. That's just plain wrong. And if the people of this valley have any guts, if you've got any chutzpah, you'll stand up, you'll complain, you'll make phone calls, you will slam the switchboard at the state capitol. You'll get out and you'll vote. And you'll put somebody in knowing you can take them out if they don't fix this problem. And the only fix is take off the food tax. But that's insane. We had a revolutionary war over a tea tax. That's all.
Well, how things work here is we get upset, we kind of do our own thing, and then we hope that everybody just kind of forgets about things.
We're frogs in the pot.
Right, the pot.
Right, and people like Otter are just turning the heat up. And we're sitting there, oh, that's okay. I just won't eat meat twice a week. I won't eat meat once a week. I can't have any meat. Come on. What does it take? What does it take to get people off the fannies and into a line to get things done. What does it take?
You got me, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, more of your phone calls next. 580-5436. 580-KIDO.
It was 100% generated by the students. So when they came to us as something that's controlled and positive, we did embrace it.
Yeehaw! More on the walkouts. We'll get to that. Plus your phone calls next with Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio.
I don't think it's a political issue. I think people just need to be better to each other.
Feeling safe here is so important, and when we're faced with something like this and to see the weight of it, it's quite shocking.
And here we are, the student protests set to take place today at Kuna High School. Students will honor the Parkland, Florida victims with a school-sponsored assembly and march through the campus halls. There you have Jamie telling the Big Fox no student should feel they are not safe in schools. That's great. And, again, the Big Fox covering Kuna High School. And, again, we are the Fox News station here in the Treasure Valley for the radio. When you hear Fox News on the radio, you're hearing KIDO Talk Radio.
This is a serious topic, and it could happen anywhere, and God forbid it happen here. But we need to talk about school safety and being kind to one another and preventing this from happening.
I don't know if being kind can help the mentally ill. We'll get your calls on that. By the way, at KIDO Talk Radio, 2 columns on why students should skip the protesting. And at Nampa High, you have people that are, I don't know, they're not protesting, they're supporting the Second Amendment. Emmett, Ty and Emmett, good morning.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
Living the dream, and you?
You bet. Yeah. It's a dream sometimes you want to just be woken up from.
Ah, yes. It's a nightmare sometimes, yes.
Yes, sir. Well, I've been listening this morning. I try to listen now. I'm listening a lot more than I used to, and I just had a thought this morning. I thought I'd share with you all this craziness that's been going on with, every time you turn around, there's something else going on, whether it's this dude feeding a puppy to a turtle and the kids walking out not knowing what they're doing, playing pawns and what have you. It's getting crazier and crazier every day. But what about these people that want to live in this utopia? I don't have anything, you have something, you give me half of what you've got. Why don't we pick a river and you stay on that river, and on that side of the river, and you live in that little utopia of a wonderful world that you think it is. And I'm going to stay over here on my side of the river in the real world. We're not going to trade. We're not going to deal business. We're not going to do anything like that. You just stay over there. You leave me alone. I leave you alone kind of thing. We'll see how that works out.
That would be great.
Wouldn't that be great? I know I can't be the only guy that has thought of that, but it's at what point does the ridiculousness and the it's not funny anymore, when does that start, reality starts kicking in?
That's what we try to bring every day, Ty, is the reality.
You bet. Well, keep up the good work, Kevin. And like I say, that was just my food for thought this morning. So you have yourself a wonderful day.
You too, sir. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, Ty and Emmett listening more often. That's good to hear. Let's get to traffic and weather together. 56 after the hour. KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Dave. And we go to Brian in Nampa at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Brian.
Hey, Kevin, I want to play devil's advocate again for a second, if that's okay.
Why not?
Hey, CDC 2017, number one killer of people from teenagers, basically, driving. And then 38% of those driving deaths was because they were texting. There was a movement mocking the people that were cutting up their ARs. Instead of cutting up guns, they're cutting up cell phones. I just find it rather interesting that we're worried about school shootings when what about all the deaths about the kids that are driving and texting?
What does it say that the state legislature passed on laws about hands-free devices? Now, I don't know if laws are going to keep people safe, but it's not like we're taking it seriously. You're right. Texting and driving, horrible. Where's the protest for that?
Yeah, and my point being is if they think an AR-15 is so deadly and so scary, which If it's in the wrong hands, it is. What about cars? What about driving back and forth? I mean, if you're going to remove the right to have a deadly weapon, from age 18 to 21, then let's do cars. You can't drive till you're 21. Let's see how that floats over.
Yeah. Well, maybe one day we'll take the real thing seriously, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know, but they're all worried about lives lost this way. And the simple fact is there's more lives lost in America with hands and feet, with just fighting. I mean, if you know how to fight, you can permanently injure somebody or make them unconscious in 1 to 2 hits. You can kill them in 3 to 4 if you know what you're doing. And anybody like me that's worked in a prison system knows that that's the reality. There are more people killed by feet and hands per year than by rifles. And so if they're worried about these deaths and they want to protest this all, then okay, give up your driver's license until you're 21. Or give up your cell phone until you're 21.
Great point, Brian. More coming up. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning.